अगर आप सप्ताह में यूपी जीत गए तो समझ लो पूरा देश जीत गए. With our education system, it was impossible for Britishers to rule in India.
Today, we have with us our founder Yuvraj Dadania sir, who is the whole and sole person behind the idea of Kazan. He has been a prominent individual with this arena of MUNs. From a very young age, he initiated his journey as a delegate, then to the core team, and then to the executive board, to now a founder. He has been known for his deepened research skills. He is a person with whom you can discuss any sort of political issue, may it be national or international. So let us start with the questions.
Thank you, ma'am.
Why name Kazan? And what made you start the Kazan MUN?
So first we'll talk about why name Kazan. So before deciding a name for the MUN, which I personally wanted to begin with, and I personally wanted to be a founder and start with, was a very critical thought too. As finding a name is something which is very crucial, because while deciding the name is a thing which plays a very major role towards attracting people, towards building trust. So Kaizen basically means that you improve upon something continuously day by day, which is a Japanese term, which is really common. It is even basically stated in the business studies textbook, which are present in, I guess, all the boards which we consider as CBSE, Cambridge Board, IB Board, or any sort of thing. And the thought of starting MUN was that देखो राजकोट as a place, as a city is where there are MUNs taking place, but there are many issues being what we say taken into considerations.
Right.
So there are many issues which are being there. So I thought of solving them and doing something unique. So that was my goal and my idea to start a MUN and provide that to Rajkot, which the people deserve, which the delegates with the students in Rajkot deserve to. So that was my aim and my goal for starting Kaizen Model United Nations.
Okay. How did you start your own MUN journey?
So basically, when I was in my starting period, ending period of my ninth grade, I got to know about MUN. So I was completely unaware about what is MUN, what is Model United Nations. Basically, I didn't even know what is United Nations. So I was going to my home from my tuition classes, and I just saw a poster of a Model United Nations. I stopped and I just thought of like, what is this? I guess the fees of it was 1500 something sort of. So I thought that why not try this once. So I got into that, and then I researched about, I did participate in the committee of G20, which was like currently booming that time. And that idea of participating was the best decision of my life, because of that participation today I am sitting here, and now being the founder of Kaizen Model United Nations, which is a very profound MUN organizations, which is right now currently hosting event on 3rd and 4th. So that's the thing where I indulged into the MUN journey.
All right. Why MUNs are important?
So people ask me this, many people ask why MUNs are important, like why should I be the part of MUNs. So I believe that MUN enhances your eloquent skills, your critical thinking, your curiosity, because diving into the field of research, debating, making your own personality, the main reason I think why MUNs are important is बिल्डिंग योर ओन पर्सनालिटी. MUN में आप अपने आप को प्रूव करते हो, मतलब आप अपने आप को साबित करते हो कि मैं कैपेबल हूँ इस लाइफ के, इस रेस इन द लाइफ, और वट एवर वी से. एंड वन थिंग इज दैट आई बिलीव दैट वाई MUNs are important. There are many students in the world who score, like if we say example of 1000 people scoring 80% in their boards, and if they aim for what we say a university like Harvard, but all 1,000 applications are 80%, and take a number that if Harvard only accepts 700 applications, so how will they differentiate? Basis on your certificates and your LORs you get from MUNs. So that's why I think that MUNs are important, and you should have that skill which is beneficial for you in your entire life. So that's my answer to that question.
Right, okay. My next question is,
Hmm.
why are your beliefs on the Indian education and is it helpful or not?
Hmm. So, first of all, I believe that first of all we follow British colonial education system. It's wrong that we are into assumption that it is Indian education system. Indian education system was before the British rule. So that's the thing. Like when people ask me Indian education system, they need to get corrected. It is British colonial education system. We India were a part of exploitation, colonization, and on being frank, a controversial statement, I believe that our current education system makes students idiots. They make students dumb. मतलब देखो, आप हमारे एजुकेशन सिस्टम अभी जो करंट इंडिया में है वो देखो. पहला एक रीज़न इसका एक है कंपटीशन और कंपैरिजन. मतलब स्टूडेंट एक इतना प्रेशराइज हो जाता है कि वो मार्क्स ला भी रहा है तो भी मार्क्स नहीं ला पाएगा. इससे मेंटल हेल्थ इश्यूज भी आते हैं विच लीड्स टू सुसाइड केसेस लाइक इन कोटा एंड like in many places, like even in Gujarat. So that's one of the most problem which is the current problem in our education system. And second problem is that are still not able to, we still have many people unemployed, we still don't have students who are skilled enough, is forgetting our history and not evolving for the change. Like see, I'll start with the roots. There was a person named Thomas Macaulay. When Britishers ruled us in the 19th century, he used to roam around India, and he explored that our education system is the best. Is very what we say the best experience which students gets. They develop upon the skills, and the thing is that we used to study with the nature, with the religion, keeping our religion in mind. And with our education system it was impossible for Britishers to rule in India. So the thing is that this guy introduced the English education system which we still are following, destroying our roots. This is how subversion works. So this was a part of subversion. And now moving on to one more thing is that I'll tell you that why we are still a puppet and what we say. And I believe that we are just factory workers. We students who are in the education systems are just robots controlled by some sort of people who basically are powered enough to control the education system. Now if we take one example, I'll tell you. देखो जब ब्रिटिशर्स ने इंडिया में रूल किया था ना, तब उन्होंने कई सारी अपने बिजनेसेस एक्सपांड किए, और इंडियन मैन और जो पीपल थे और जो लोग थे उनको वर्क के लिए रखा था. तो अब देखो वो क्या थे कि वो उन लोगों ने एक डेजिग्नेटेड टाइम डिसाइड किया था कि कब हमें ब्रेक देना है, कब हमें चाहिए. तो उन्होंने एक बेल की सिस्टम इंट्रोड्यूस की. मतलब फैक्ट्री में आप सुबह 9 बजे से 1 बजे तक काम करो, 1 बजे परफेक्ट बेल रिंग होगी, टंग 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 टंग. वो बेल जब रिंग हुई तब ब्रेक हुआ, लंच ब्रेक का. वो सेम पैटर्न आप हमारे स्कूल्स में नोटिस करोगे. 1 बजे ब्रेक होता है, सब बेल रिंग होती है, टंग 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 टंग. तो देखो वो जो बात थी वो, ये मैं ऐसे बोलता हूँ क्योंकि इसीलिए मैं कहता हूँ कि फैक्ट्री वर्कर्स एंड ऑल द थिंग इज दैट्स व्हाई वी आर सेम एज फैक्ट्री वर्कर्स, लाइक एज पर अवर करंट एजुकेशन सिस्टम. एंड आई बिलीव दैट अवर एजुकेशन सिस्टम विच वी फॉलो इज वेरी रिजिड. In case like before the British rule, which was not, we used to have open discussions with our gurus, which we used to tell them. Right now if a student has a doubt and if they want to even ask a question to their what we say educator or the teacher or the faculty, they have to think twice.
Yeah.
because like they are scared enough. Like what if the answer is not right, and what if the questions which I ask are not relevant, but which was not. I'll give you the then one more thing which I relate is that the thing is, before when we used to follow our Indian education system with our religion, Hinduism. You know why I believe that Hinduism is the greatest religion is because the reason why like when the time of Mahabharata and Ramayana, the characters in that used to question the decisions of gods. Like even they used to question the decision of gods, and what we say, all sort of the, like we say Krishna Bhagwan, like we say of Karna, and all their decisions were questioned. So why hesitate before asking to our education system? My last statement about this question would be that our current education system kills creativity and makes a slave of the corporate world. So that are my beliefs on the current education system.
That is very well said, sir. What
Yeah.
are your views on the current NEET scam in India?
See, I would start with a controversial line. Hard work is equal to failure. So I believe that the current NEET scam going on. Just think the students who are working hard, like they are working for 2 to 3 years for an exam, which will get them employed, which will get their life settled, and for their better lifestyle, and they are working for. And if they are not receiving the credits and the, what we say, the part they deserve in the current what we say, the exams they deserve to, then it is hard work and you receive failure. See, because the thing is that now they introduced reneat. So why reneat? If personally I have studied for 2 to 3 years and I have scored 620 in NEET, so why should I do that? Why should I give that exam again if I am getting good what we say, in good colleges, and what we say, I am getting a good degree sort of thing, a good job. But which is not the case. Even in India, you say no. Don't take the example of NEET also. Even after many engineering good degrees of engineering, we say example, many people are unemployed. There is lack of employment in our country, and the thing is that in in what we say, the NEET exams, that the thing is, like the people who are like privileged, who are having money, they just arrange for like 20 to 30 lakhs for a paper.
Right.
Like just
Yeah.
imagine who a person who a middle class family whose income is 50,000, monthly income is 50,000. What would he do? What would he do to, what we say, clear these exams and all? He tries his best to clear these exams.
True.
So I believe that hard work is equal to failure. That are my views on
My
this.
last question is, why did the BJP government lose in Uttar Pradesh?
देखो, बीजेपी यूपी में क्यों हारी? अब इसकी बात करते हैं तो देखो, ये जो राम मंदिर का जो संघर्ष था यूपी में, ये 30 साल से चला आ रहा है, और राम मंदिर वॉज बिल्ट बिकॉज ऑफ बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट.
Right.
पर इसका देखो, एक कहावत है हमारे पूरे इसमें, एक कहावत है कि अगर आप सप्ताह में यूपी जीत गए तो समझ लो पूरा देश जीत गए. पर इस बार तो बीजेपी यूपी ही हार गई. देखो, इसके कई कारण है, और पहला कारण ही राम मंदिर है. मतलब आपको बताता हूँ क्यों. देखो, राम मंदिर जब बना तो आजू बाजू के जो कॉरिडोर्स हैं, जो मतलब जो कॉलोनीज थे, उनको डेवलप करने के लिए बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट ने क्या करा कि जो लोग रह रहे थे उनके घर को तोड़ दिया, और उन लोगों को पे कहीं और शिफ्ट कर दिया, और उनको कंपनसेशन दी गई थी, वो बहुत ही कम थी. मतलब वो सेटिस्फैक्ट्री नहीं थी उनके, मतलब जो डे टू डे यूजेज के हिसाब से. और जो घर उन लोगों को नहीं मिले वो मार्केट प्लेस से बहुत दूर थे, तो वो इनकन्वीनियंस का फैक्टर था. तो लोगों जो कम्युनिटी के लोग थे वो वैसे ही बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट से नाराज़ थे. और दूसरा कारण मैं मानता हूँ वो है यूनाइटेड मुस्लिम वोट्स. 72% of Muslim votes in UP are, what we say, are against BJP. तो देखो, ये एक बहुत ही मेजर रोल प्ले करता है कि अगर आप मुस्लिम माइनॉरिटी के ऊपर ध्यान नहीं दे रहे और वो आप कंसिडरेशन में नहीं रहे, तो ये एक प्रभाव बीजेपी गवर्नमेंट के ऊपर पड़ा है। और तीसरा कारण है कास्ट पॉलिटिक्स। देखो, कास्ट पॉलिटिक्स इज़ अ मेजर की टू विन इन यूपी। अब यूपी में जीतने के लिए बीजेपी का कोई भी एक कास्ट रिप्रेजेंटेटिव था ही नहीं। अब आप देखो एग्जाम्पल, यादव्स की जो समाजवादी पार्टी है, वो 7% ऑफ द यूपी पॉपुलेशन है, और दूसरी जो है वो बहुजन्स की सेना वगैरह। तो ये दो कास्ट है ना, उनके रिप्रेजेंटेटिव का एक ज़्यादातर इम्पैक्ट रहा है इस पे, व्हाट वी से, ऑन यूपी। और अब यूपी की बात ही छोड़ो ना, ये बीजेपी वाले 400 पार करते, पर 300 के पार भी सीट नहीं गई है। तो देखो, ये बीजेपी इस बार का परफॉर्मेंस पूरे देश में कम हुआ है। देखो, इसका एक कारण मैं यूपी से कारण के भी सब कारण बताता हूँ। एक कारण है आरएसएस। देखो, एक मेजर ब्लंडर था बीजेपी का आरएसएस को इग्नोर करना। आरएसएस ने सारे बड़े पॉलिटिशियन हमारे बीजेपी में हैं, उनको एस्टैब्लिश किया है। जबकि अटल जी ले ले, मोदी जी ले ले, नितिन गडकरी, वो सबको एस्टैब्लिश करने का हाथ ही आरएसएस का है। और इलेक्शन के टाइम पे जेपी नड्डा जी ने एक स्टेटमेंट दे दिया कि इन द बिगनिंग वी वुड हैव लेस केपेबल, व्हाट वी से, स्मॉलर नीड ऑफ आरएसएस। मतलब उनको आरएसएस की रिक्वायरमेंट थी, पर अब उनको आरएसएस की रिक्वायरमेंट नहीं है। तो आरएसएस का सपोर्ट इस बार उन लोगों को नहीं मिला है। और अब हम दूसरा एस्पेक्ट लेते हैं कि एक था इग्नोरिंग भारत जोड़ो यात्रा। तो भारत जोड़ो यात्रा थी, उसने वो मेजर इम्पैक्ट प्ले किया है। अब आप देखो, गुजरात में जब बीजेपी ने शुरू किया था अपना प्रचारण करना, तो वो जो प्रचारण उन लोगों ने किया, बीजेपी वालों ने, वो उन लोगों ने भी यात्रा से किया था। आप देखो कि जो सरदार व्हाट वी से, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी थे, उन लोगों ने वहाँ से ही शुरुआत की थी कि हम एक यात्रा करें। उन लोगों ने यात्रा से ही गुजरात को क्या थे, अपनी सरकार एस्टैब्लिश की है। और अभी भी देख सकते हो गुजरात में एक बहुत सा एक इम्पैक्ट है उसका। तो वो था मेरे पर्सपेक्टिव्स कि क्यों यूपी में बीजेपी की सरकार क्यों नहीं आई।
Okay, I would like to end the session here.
Yeah, sure,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much, sir, for having this productive session with us.